Welcome to Vital Life Stories, where we explore the hidden depths of the human heart and the quiet struggles we face daily. Meet Benjamin, a solitary man living on the edge of a bustling village, watching the world turn while feeling completely apart. For years, he watched the warm lights of the houses below, wondering why he always felt like a stranger in his home. He walked through the crowded markets where laughter echoed loudly, yet he felt an invisible wall separating him from their joy. Benjamin often felt like a broken puzzle piece, shaped differently from the rest, unable to snap into the picture of society. He observed groups of friends gathering by the fire, sharing stories and jokes, and a heavy weight settled in his chest. He looked in the mirror and asked himself why he could not simply laugh, chat, and blend in like everyone else. Since childhood, he preferred the quiet company of books over the loud games of others, marking the start of his isolation. Deciding that he was tired of feeling broken, Benjamin resolved to fix himself by forcing his way into the social circles. He stepped into the local tavern, the air thick with noise and smoke, determined to become the person he thought he should be. He approached a lively table, wearing a mask of forced cheerfulness, trying to mimic the energy he saw in those around him. They welcomed him with polite nods and surface-level smiles, but the air between them remained thick with an unspoken, awkward tension. He tried to share a story, but his words fell flat, quickly drowned out by the louder, faster currents of their chatter. His hands gripped his glass tightly, the physical pressure mirroring the mental strain of trying to be someone he was clearly not. As the night wore on, the laughter began to sound mechanical, and the smiles around him started to look like painted masks. He overheard whispers when backs were turned, realizing that the camaraderie he admired was often laced with judgment and petty gossip. The connection he had craved so desperately turned out to be fragile, built on shared complaints rather than genuine, deep understanding. When he tried to steer the conversation to dreams or fears, they quickly shifted back to the weather and trivial daily events. Every minute of small talk felt like it was draining his life force, leaving him exhausted in a way that sleep could not fix. He finally stepped out into the cold night air, escaping the noise, but the feeling of failure weighed heavier than ever before. Sitting alone on the curb, he concluded that he was truly defective, incapable of the simple connections that came easily to others. The next morning, seeking refuge from his thoughts, Benjamin wandered into the deep woods, where the trees did not demand him to speak. By a quiet stream, he encountered an old traveler whose eyes held the calm of a still lake and the depth of oceans. The traveler gestured for him to sit, and without a word, Benjamin felt safe enough to share the heavy burden of his solitude. He poured out his heart, confessing how he felt broken for failing to enjoy the crowds and the endless, shallow conversations. The wise traveler smiled gently, picked up a smooth stone from the water, and looked at Benjamin with profound, understanding compassion. He told Benjamin that he was not broken, but simply built to process the world like deep roots rather than fluttering leaves. While others might thrive in the breeze of light chatter, your spirit demands the rich nutrients found only in deep, meaningful silence. Socializing drains you not because you are weak, but because you feel everything intensely and refuse to participate in what is fake. Benjamin looked into the water and saw himself clearly for the first time, realizing his nature was a gift, not a curse. The traveler departed, leaving Benjamin with a truth that lifted the weight from his shoulders and allowed him to finally breathe. He returned to the village, but this time he walked past the crowds without the aching desire to be part of them. He stopped trying to fit in and started building a sanctuary, pouring his energy into a garden that reflected his inner beauty. He embraced his solitude, filling his hours with books, art, and the quiet peace that he had once tried so hard to escape. His garden flourished into a vibrant paradise, proving that when he nurtured his true self, beautiful things began to grow around him. One quiet afternoon, a stranger named Elias stopped by the fence, not to gossip, but simply to admire the beauty in silence. Benjamin walked over, and they exchanged a simple nod, sharing a moment of appreciation that required no empty words to fill it. Elias asked about a rare flower, and for the first time, Benjamin spoke to someone who actually listened to the depth of his answer. They sat together for hours, comfortable in long stretches of silence, finding a connection that the noisy tavern could never provide. Benjamin realized he had found what he was looking for. Not a crowd of acquaintances, but one true friend who understood his soul. He finally understood that one diamond is worth far more than a pocketful of stones, just as one true friend outweighs many. They spent their days tending to the garden, their friendship growing naturally and slowly, just like the strong roots of the trees. The villagers who once whispered now stopped to admire the peace that radiated from the two men and their sanctuary of silence. Benjamin was no longer lonely, for he had learned that solitude is a place of strength, and true connection is rare and sacred. He learned that having few friends does not mean you are broken. It means you value depth, sincerity, and the truth above all. So if you feel like you do not fit in, do not lower your standards just to be accepted by the loud crowd. Remember that eagles fly alone, while sparrows fly in flocks. There is a unique power and dignity in walking your own path. Cherish the few who can hear your silence, for a genuine friendship is worth more than 1,000 empty, superficial conversations. Protect your inner peace and nurture your own garden, and in time, the right people will come to find you there. You are not broken for being different. You are simply a masterpiece that requires a deeper understanding to be truly appreciated. Embrace your depth, love your solitude, and never trade your authenticity for the cheap comfort of fitting into a mold not made for you. Let your life be defined by the quality of your connections, not the quantity of people who know your name, but not your heart. Stand tall in your truth, like a candle that burns steadily in the dark, guiding those who are looking for real light. Benjamin found his happiness not by changing who he was, but by accepting it fully and waiting for the right companion. May you also find the courage to walk away from what drains you and towards what truly fills your soul with joy. Reflect on your own circle today. Are you surrounded by mirrors that reflect your true self or masks that hide it? Remember always that a life rich in depth and meaning is the greatest success one can ever hope to achieve. Thank you for joining Benjamin on this journey of self-discovery and for taking the time to listen to a story that matters. If this story touched your heart, please share it with a friend who might need to hear these words today. This has been Vital Life Stories. Subscribe for more tales of wisdom and heart. Until next time, cherish your true connections.